Anthony Lazzaro, ANTHONY, LAZZARO.
You may proceed, Mr. George.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, Mr. Lazzaro.
Afternoon.
Does L7 tone mean anything to you?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
That is an AOL Instant Messenger name.
The L7 tone, is that a particular name?
7's a lucky number. L should be abbreviate my last name. And tone is a DJ name.
All right. So is L7 tone you?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did you ever have instant messages with Caylee Anthony?
Yes, sir.
And when you had those instant messages with her, what was her name?
Caylee Marie.
Okay. May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes. Okay, Mr. George. I have some concerns about this whole thing. What is the purpose of this exhibit LZ? One of the problems, as the defense has pointed out, is it starts with April 29, 2008. In it,
I understand the defense's objection and the court's concern, and if it will help alleviate the matter, the state would not seek to introduce the L7 tone messaging that relates to April 29th of 2008, May 5th of 2008. When we get to the instant messaging that is dated June 10th of 2008, which is
reflected on which page? So I won't have to hunt and pick.
the June 10th instant messaging, Your Honor, begins on page 2 of 8. Nearly halfway down the page, there's a date stamp of Tuesday. I'm sorry?
The Bates number of the documents you're referring to? And excuse me for interrupting.
It was provided on disk, Mr. Roberts.
I'm sorry?
It was provided on disk. I don't believe there's a document stamp on it.
Okay, you're talking about June 10th,
6 days before
2008.
2008. This conversation reflects the portions that I would seek to publish have to do with Mr. Lazzaro wishing to come over to Ms. Anthony's home.
Okay, starting Tuesday, June 10th, starts off with Mr. Lazzaro at 10:13 p.m. Yo. Miss Anthony, yo. Mr. Lazzaro, don't copy me. Miss Anthony, ha ha. Mr. Lazzaro, suck A.D. Mr. Lazzaro, I. Mr. Lazzaro, C. Mr. Lazzaro, K. Miss Anthony, maybe. What does that have reference to, Mr. George?
Well, Your Honor, I believe what they're referring to is a sexual act.
Okay, and tell me, what does that tend to prove or disprove as to the elements of the crimes alleged, or something that portion sort of mystifies me?
As I was stating, the state is attempting to introduce L7 tone, the conversations that occurred on June 10th, 2008 that appear on page 3, not the sexual.
Okay, you had first said page 2.
Your Honor, I referenced page 2 as to where June 10th started. I apologize.
Okay. All right, we're going over to page 3.
And if we go down to 10:38:37, PM.
Okay, just a second. 10:38 to 7 p.m.?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Lazzaro, I'm coming over. Miss Anthony, are you? Yeah. Mr. Lazzaro, after lab, yeah. Miss Anthony, ha fuck. Mr. Lazzaro, to say hello. And the next one, Miss Anthony, on a few more days, and you can bring your ass over here anytime you want and stay whenever you want. Mr. Lazzaro, well, I'm coming over tonight. Miss Anthony, you are trouble. You know that? Yep. That's the portion you're talking about?
Your Honor, the state wants to introduce or would seek to introduce 10:38:27 p.m. through the defendant's response at 10:39:42. It establishes the fact that Mr. Lazzaro would like to come over. It establishes Ms. Anthony's putting him off, saying he can't, and it helps establish the fact that the reason that she can't do what she would like to do and can't have him come over whenever he wants to come over is because the child and her parents are in the way. That's why it's relevant.
Does the defense concur with that analogy?
Absolutely not, Judge.
And that's the basis that you want to have that admitted?
Certainly, a jury, that's the conclusion that they can come up, that they can end with.
Okay. And what does that tend to prove or disprove?
Provides the, in essence, one of the motive for the murder.
I take it Miss Anthony is living at home at that time, Mr. George?
Yes,
And you're saying just because she's living at home with her parents and because she's told no, that's a motive for murder?
I'm sorry, sir, I missed that last part.
You're saying that because she's living at home and with her daughter in her parents' home, and because she says no, that's a motive for murder?
No, Your Honor. As the evidence, as some of the testimony has already been established from Mr. Lazzaro, when they first started to date, the defendant had Caylee with her. The defendant was unable to do what she wanted to do, to stay where she wanted to stay, because she had to bring Caylee back home. As the weeks went on, culminating up to and to June 16th, what this helps represent and show was that she was locked in that home. She was locked, or at least held back, by her daughter. She couldn't do what she wanted to do, which is further evidenced by everything that she did do and everything that she wanted to do from June 16th until July 15th. That is why it's relevant, and it does help establish the motive. Because after June 16th, she didn't have to worry about her parents. She didn't have to worry about her daughter.
The next logical question is, why didn't she kill her parents? Since everybody was in the way, but you don't need to answer that. Pursuant to Section 90.403 of the Florida Evidence Code, exclusion on grounds of prejudice or confusion, the court will make the following ruling. 1, that is not relevant or material to any of the issues to be proved, and even if it was relevant and material, it is outweighed by the prejudice that it would cause in this. So that portion will not come in along with the rest of the portions. What's the next portion you would like to introduce? It's going to take us some time to go through the rest of this. So what I'm going to do is bring this jury back here and get them out of here, and we can go through this part by part. Now, are we going to have any more of these text messages coming in? Are we going to have any more text messages of similar import like this one? If so, get me copies of them so I can read them. And then that way I will be familiar with them. But we can do that. Let's get this jury in here. Mr. Lazzaro, you can stand down, sir. Okay, stay recognized, person of the jury.
Yes.
And does the defense?
Yes, sir, we do.
Okay, members of the jury, I'm going to let you go. We got some things we need to take up outside of your presence. But I understand that you've changed your mind about the lightning game. I have a note from the gentleman from the Golden Cage who said y'all have changed your mind about the lightning game. Is that true? Okay. I think you're going to enjoy it. I am told that not only will Bright House provide you with the game, you will have some refreshments there. Now, I don't know if there'll be pretzels, but there will be refreshments. So we're going to let you go so you can get back, get changed. And I know some of you were concerned about being there at 7, but you'll get there and you will see the game in its entirety. And I'm told that it's a 65-inch screen. So it's larger than anything I've seen. Yes, sir. Well, as I told you, we will try to make this unpleasant experience as very pleasant as possible, but the thanks goes to Bright House Networks, who is a great community partner who, when they heard about you not being able to watch the lightning, they stepped up, and we have this community is filled with many great partners. And we know you away from home, and if you were at home, you could watch the Tampa Bay Lightning, Game 7. Should be very thrilling. They tell me there's no holds barred in Game 7 and that the referees sort of let them play. So remember my previous admonition. Don't stay up too late because we'll be here in the morning at 9. And go Lightning. Okay. Okay, you may be seated. Okay, Mr. George, what is the next portion?
Your Honor, may I have a couple of minutes to figure out exactly which parts I would like to argue? Just 5.
Yeah, we'll take a 5-minute recess. You don't have another copy that I can mark up. This is the one that you're going to send in the evidence, so I don't want to touch that. So while we're taking the 5-minute recess, I'm going to ask the clerk if she can make me a copy of this. Y'all don't have copies? Okay.
They say it's on a disc somewhere. Just give me a copy.
Well, you could, when she's going to have somebody come up and I'll make them 2. Huh? 2 copies, 1 for me and 1 for the defense. We'll be in recess till we get the copies. You may be seated. Mr. George?
The state is satisfied with the predicate that we've laid thus far, and we will not be seeking to introduce the documents at this time.
Okay. All right, then, we'll be in recess to 9, Mr. Ashton.
One matter I'd like to raise at sidebar.
Okay, and after that, we don't need to have anything in open court anymore?
I don't believe so. Oh,
Mr. Baez?
I just wanted to alert the court to a filing of a supplemental witness list. There is a certificate of good cause associated with it. They have endeavored to give us information about this person, so we will let the court know at the appropriate juncture if we have objections to this, but I wanted to let you know that there has been this filing.
Okay. All right. See you at sidebar. Other than that, we'll be in recess to 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Hope you had a pleasant evening. Okay. And did you heed all of my previous admonitions? Okay. State may proceed.
Mr. Lazzaro, good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Let's bring up. All right. Mr. Lazzaro, do you see something on your screen there?
Yes, sir.
All right. From that picture, do you know what that is? What that is a picture of?
Yes, it's an orientation sheet from Full Sail University.
All right. Can you blow it up a little bit? Maybe just a little bit more. There you go. All right. Sir, on that photograph, it's a registration paper from where?
Full Sail University?
What was the purpose, or what would be the purpose of that piece of paper?
When you're first a student, it's to register for your first classes, get your badge, to get in and out of school, and just, I guess, introduction to the school.
Do you see some handwriting on that piece of paper?
Yes, sir.
Do you see your name on that paper?
Yes, sir.
What other names do you see if you do?
Cameron.
Okay. At the top, there's some wording as well. Can you see that?
Yes.
What does that say?
That is the current address, well, not the current address, but the address that I was staying at with Cam.
Okay. Is that your handwriting?
No, sir.
Do you recognize that piece of paper, though?
Yes, sir.
All right. Other than it being kind of crumpled and a little dirty and torn, do you recognize, does that document with the wording and the handwriting appear to be in the same condition as when you saw it, the lettering anyway?
Yes, sir.
All right. Was that in your apartment?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. You can take that off. Sir, well, the last you testified, you were in New York. I believe you testified that you left for New York on June 30th. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
When did you return?
July 5th.
While you were away, did you stay in contact with the defendant?
Yes, sir.
Would that be on a every other day or a daily basis?
Daily basis.
Would it be more than one time a day?
You can say that, yes.
Okay. And you returned on July 5th?
Yes, sir.
When you returned on July 5th, did you fly in?
Yes.
Who picked you up?
Casey did.
In whose car?
My car.
When you first were reunited with the defendant, was there any change in her demeanor from when you had left her?
Just happy to see me.
From and from when she first picked you up at the airport, do you recall what you did?
Went back to my apartment.
Okay. Did you later go out that night?
Yes, sir.
Where'd you go?
Buffalo Wild Wings.
All right. And what was the purpose of that?
I believe there was a UFC match, and she wanted me to meet her friends.
What kind of match?
UFC,
What is that?
Ultimate Fighting Championship.
All right. Did you meet some of her friends?
Yes, sir.
From July 5th until July 15th, did she stay with you?
Yes, sir.
Did she stay with you every night?
Yes, sir.
Was there any change in her behavior from July 5th to the 15th? Was it any different then than it was since before you had left?
No, sir.
Overruled.
Sir, I'm showing you what's been previously marked for identification ME. Do you recognize that?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
It is a receipt to Blockbuster.
Okay. Does your name appear anywhere on that?
Yes, sir.
Is there a date on there at the bottom?
Yes.
What date is that?
Date is. This is 6/18.
Does it say 16 or 18?
This is 6/18/08.
Okay. Is that your receipt, or was
Yes, sir.
that your receipt?
Yes, sir.
And does that appear to be in the same condition as when you first saw it?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Does it say on that receipt what you rented?
Jumper and entrance.
There's a relevance and a 403 argument that needs to be heard, Judge.
Let me see the receipt. Approach the sidebar for a minute. Just a second. Court reporter gets set back up. You ready, Madam Court Reporter? Okay, Mr. George, you may continue, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Oh,
Sir, you still are looking at what has been marked for identification ME?
yes.
All right. Again, sir, can you tell from that receipt when you went to Blockbuster?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I gave you the due date before. 6/16/08.
Okay. Does that receipt also indicate what time those movies were rented?
1958.
1958 hours?
Yes, sir.
Do you know what that translates to in a 12-hour clock?
Yes, sir. 7 o'clock, 7:58.
When you rented those movies, was the defendant with you?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Lazzaro, I want to address or direct your attention to the night of July 16th of 2008. Do you recall that night?
Yes, sir.
The early evening hours of July 16th, were you at home?
Yes.
Who were you with?
Myself and Nate.
What were you guys doing?
We were playing Xbox.
Was anybody else in the apartment?
Yes.
Who?
Casey.
Had the defendant been with you the entire day? Outside of school?
Yes.
George. I believe Mr. George is talking about the evening of July 15th.
I'm sorry. I misspoke. We were talking about June before. I meant July 5th, July of 2008.
Yes, sir.
All right. You, Nate, and the defendant are home.
Yes.
Was there anything going on that night?
Yes, the All-Star game.
Baseball?
Yes.
Are you a baseball fan?
Yes, sir.
All right. While you and Nate were playing Xbox, did anything happen?
Yes.
Did somebody come to your door?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell the jury what happened?
Playing Xbox, there's a knock at the door. Said, come in. lady was at the door. Her name was Amy Huzenga, which is Casey's friend. And they looked at each other and they walked out.
Did you hear the defendant say anything before she walked out of the apartment?
Not that I recall.
Okay.
So they walked out. We went back to playing our video game. Shortly after, the door flung open. Casey came running in. Her mother was now standing at the door.
Let me stop you there. Had you ever met the defendant's mother before?
No, sir.
Okay. Go ahead.
I said, politely come in. She said,
Sustain.
Go ahead. When not stating what anybody else said, did Casey say anything when she came back into the apartment?
they were yelling at each other.
What do you recall the defendant saying?
Well, her mother said, get your stuff, what you were saying.
Just Mr. Lazzaro, just want you to
Sustain.
testify as to what you heard the defendant say while inside your apartment that you could hear.
No, I'm coming back.
Okay. What did you do?
Sat there in shock.
How long were they in the apartment?
Not even a minute.
Other than the defendant saying, no, I'm coming back, did she say anything else in your presence at that time?
No, sir.
What happened then?
They left.
When they left, what was your reaction?
I guess someone's in trouble.
Did you attempt to immediately call the defendant?
No, I figured maybe it was something that they had to work out, and maybe I would hear from her.
Who was the next, or what was the next, who did you next hear from?
Well, then I realized I called her phone. Then I waited a while, and I called her phone and realized that her phone was still at the apartment. So, and I don't have her house number. So I looked to see and call Amy, because I saw that she showed up to the door. And she told me,
Without test,
right, she's not going to tell me, I'm not going to say yes.
Okay, did you speak with Amy Heisler?
Yes, I did.
All right. Subsequent to that, did anybody come to your house, to your apartment?
Yes, sir.
Well, who first came to your apartment?
A deputy.
All right. From the Orange County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, sir.
All right. When the sheriff's deputy came, and again, without talking about what the deputy told you, did you say anything to him?
No, sir.
All right. Did you give him anything when he came to your apartment?
Yes, sir.
What did you give him?
Her cell phone.
Did you give the deputy anything else?
No, sir.
That first time when the Orange County Sheriff's Office deputy came to your apartment, how long was he there?
As long as it took to give him the cell phone.
And then he left?
Yes, sir.
Again, after the deputy left, did you receive any phone calls from the defendant at that time?
No, sir.
After the deputy left, did anybody else come to your apartment?
Yes, sir.
All right. Who was that?
Well, deputy came back again.
All right. How long after the first one? Was it the same deputy?
Yes.
All right. How long after he had left the first time did he come back?
Not long after. Within the hour.
And again, without telling us what the deputy told you, did you say anything to the deputy, or did you give the deputy anything?
I allowed the deputy to search my apartment.
Was it just one deputy?
Yes, sir.
Did he search the apartment?
Yes, sir.
Did he leave with anything at that time?
No, sir.
How long was he there?
Half hour.
All right. He leaves.
Yes, sir.
He leaves. Did anyone else come to your apartment that night?
Yes, sir.
Who?
Lee Anthony.
When did Lee Anthony come in relation to when the last deputy left, approximately?
Anywhere between 9 to 12.
Again, without stating what Lee Anthony told you, can you tell the jury what his demeanor was?
I'd say concerned. Very concerned.
Did you give anything to Lee Anthony?
Yes.
Did you ask Lee Anthony what was going on?
Yes.
When he told you what was going on, what was your reaction?
Well, backtrack a little bit. Before the deputy first came to get the phone, I received a phone call from Lee.
All right,
So I already knew at the point when the deputy came.
Okay. Did you have to give him directions on how to get to your place?
Sir?
Did you have to give him directions on how to get to your place?
No, I believe he got it from the police.
Okay. Did you give anything to Lee Anthony?
Yes, sir.
What did you give to Lee?
Bag of clothes of Casey's. And I believe a laptop.
Were these items that he had specifically asked for?
I believe so.
You say a bag of clothes. Are you talking a garbage bag or was it a duffel bag?
Duffel bag.
Did you pack that bag?
No, sir.
Did Lee pack that bag?
No, sir.
Was it just the way it was?
When the deputy came to search the apartment, he was looking for any kind of clues. And he grabbed the bag and brought it to my kitchen table.
Okay. Did the deputy pack the bag?
No, sir.
All right. Were there any other items that you took from the apartment and put in the bag?
No, sir.
And did you give or allow Lee to leave your apartment with that bag,
Yes, sir.
as well as the laptop?
Yes, sir.
What was your reaction after Lee had left?
Wow. In light of everything that happened within those couple hours, I was pretty taken back.
Okay. So you were surprised?
Yes, sir.
After Lee left, did you have any other visitors to your apartment that night?
No, sir.
Did you continue to attempt to locate or at least to contact the defendant?
No, sir.
At some point, let's move on to the 16th of July of 2008. Did you receive any contact from the defendant?
Yes, sir.
How so?
Through a text message.
You may.
Sir, I'm showing you what's been marked for identification LY. If you want to take a moment and look through that briefly. You have a chance to look at that?
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize State's Exhibit LY?
Excuse me?
Do you recognize that exhibit?
Yes, sir.
What is it, sir?
It is a text message conversation between myself and Casey.
Do you recognize the defendant's phone number?
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize that conversation via text that you had with her on the morning of the 16th?
Yes, sir.
The text messages that you have before you, are they a fair and accurate recording, for lack of a better word, or documentation of the conversation that you had with her?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would move what's been previously marked for identification LY into evidence as the state's next in line.
What says the defense?
No objections, Judge.
Be received in evidence as states numbered.
Why don't we try? blow that. You know, the text is a little fuzzy. I'm going to try to publish this to the jury at this time.
You may.
Thank you. All right, is this the first text that you received?
Yes, sir.
All right, and the date there is July 16th at 6:40 a.m., is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And what is the subject line there?
Subject line is, you want me to read it back to you?
Yes,
I'm so sorry for not telling you.
okay. Mario, can you go to the next? We'll try to do half and blow that up. All the way down. All right. And what does she say to you here?
I'm so sorry for not telling you what happened. We obviously need to talk. I need you, and I love you more than you know.
Did you, Mario, let's go to the next. Now, is this the first question you ask her?
Yes, sir.
Where is Caylee?
Yes, sir.
Let's go to the next one. And her response said,
I honestly don't know.
and what did you respond?
I don't know. Pause. Are you serious? Question mark.
What was your mood at this time?
Upset.
Were you angry?
Very angry.
Were you also worried?
Yes, sir.
Let's go to the next one. At the top there, it says, I don't know, are you serious? When did you find out? Is that you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what does she say in response to that?
I've been filling reports all night.
Keep going.
Oh, sorry. I've been filling reports all night and driving around with multiple officers looking at old apartments I had taken her to. Everything, period. I am the worst, or read it verbatim.
Yes, sir.
I am the worst fucking person in the entire world. I don't know what I'll do if something happens to her.
Okay. Let's go to the next one. Or the next few, if you can. What's the next thing that it says there, sir? At 6:54 a.m.
She writes, too long, let's just leave it at that.
What did you respond?
Why wouldn't you tell me of all people I was your boyfriend that cares about you and your daughter? Doesn't make sense to me. Why would you lie to me thinking she was fine with your nanny?
And what was her response?
I lied to everyone. What was I supposed to say? I trust my daughter with some psycho. How does that look?
Okay. Let's go to the next one. Okay, at 7:02 a.m., you respond. What did you respond? What is IDK?
Oh, you want to go to 702? I don't know what to say. I just hope your daughter is okay. IDK means I don't know,
Okay.
by the way. Well, I don't know what to say. I just hope your daughter is okay, and I'm going to do whatever I can to help your family and the cops.
Next, Mario. And after saying that to her, what is her first response back to you?
I was put in handcuffs for almost 10 minutes and sat in the back of a cop car. The best thing and the most important person in my life is missing, and God only knows if I'm ever going to see her again.
Can you read what the next text message is at 7:02?
I am the,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
yes, I am the dumbest person and the worst mother. I honestly hate myself.
Now we go to a text at 7:03. What does she respond, or what does she write to you?
The most important thing is getting Caylee back, but I truly hope that you can forgive me. Granted, I will never be able to forgive myself, nor will my family. Go to the next one, Mario.
Now, you have a question for her at 7:04. What did you ask her?
I said, who is this Zanny nanny person?
Prior to July 15th of 2008, you had testified that you had heard of a nanny. Is that correct?
Correct.
Had you ever heard the word Zanny?
Correct.
Had you?
Yes.
Okay. Had you ever heard the word or the name Zenaida?
Yes.
So you ask her, who is this Zanny nanny person, and what is her response?
Someone I had met through a mutual friend almost 4 years ago. She used to be my buddy Jeff's nanny before she became mine.
Let's go to the next one, Mark. At 7:09, she texts you what?
I'm scared.
And you ask, are you home?
Correct.
Is that correct? Go ahead, Mario. All right. What does she respond?
Yeah, I'm almost 12 hours of stuff. Finally getting a shower. I feel like hell.
Okay. Let's go to the next one. Now, are you trying to ask some questions here? Are you trying to find out what's going on?
Yes, sir.
All right. What did you ask her?
Where did you drop off Caylee last time you saw her?
And her response?
At her apartment at the bottom of the stairs.
Okay. And you ask, I'm sorry, let's move on a little bit. And you ask specifically where, what does she say?
Sawgrass Apartments.
Okay. Let's move on. And she goes on to say at 7:19 what?
Have told and show the police the apartment.
Okay. What else? What's next at 7:20?
So told them and drove out there with 2 different officers. I just got back from the second drive.
Let's go to the next one.
If they don't find her, guess who gets blamed and spends eternity in jail?
And you respond at 7:23. How?
Yeah, no shit, this is serious. Why would you say something sooner about this to anyone?
Did she respond to that?
No.
7:24. What do you say?
Oh, and why are you texting me and not calling?
Let's keep moving on. July 16th at 7:24. What does the defendant text to you?
I talked to 2 people that have been directly connected to Zanny. How can I sit there and be so blind and stupid? It's my fault.
And later on at 7:25, she sends you a text. What is it?
I was scared to admit it. I was scared that something was going to happen to my baby.
After the exchange of those text messages, did you speak on the phone with Caylee Anthony?
Yes, sir.
Was it immediately after those text messages?
Yes, sir.
Did you call her or did she call you?
I called her.
When you called her, what did you say to her?
Where is Caylee?
Was that the first question?
Yes, sir.
What was her response?
I don't know.
What was your attitude? What was your demeanor?
Angry.
Why were you angry?
Lied to, betrayed. It's hard to explain everything at once.
Kind of came up all at the same time.
Yes, sir.
When she said she didn't know, what did you say to her, if you recall?
What's that?
What did you say to her after she told you, I don't know?
How do you not know? How do you not know where your daughter is?
What'd she say?
I just don't know. It's basically a conversation that just wasn't going anywhere.
Were you getting more?
At that point, I was very irritated.
Did you have class that day?
Yes, sir.
Did you ask her any more times about Caylee?
I had to go to, after a while of asking and going nowhere,
When you say going nowhere, what do you mean by that?
not getting an answer, just getting, I don't know every time.
After a while, did you just get frustrated?
Yes, sir.
And what did you do?
I said I had to go to class and I hung up the phone.
You have 1 second, Judge. One second. Thank you, sir. I have nothing else.
Cross-examination?
May it please the court, Mr. George. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Mr. Lazzaro.
Morning.
This conversation's pretty bizarre, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
It's almost as if it's a slap in the face on reality.
Yes, sir.
Your reality
Yes, sir.
and Casey's reality.
Yes, sir.
And in these text messages, she acts as if Casey's still alive.
Excuse me?
She acts as if Caylee's still alive.
Yes, sir.
And she blames herself for this.
Yes, sir.
She feels bad for hurting you.
Yes, sir.
And despite everything, she shows concern for her family.
Yes.
She shows she loves, despite everything, her mother and father.
At this point, this is speculation.
Sustained. Last question.
As far as you're aware, sir.
As far as I was aware.
The objection was sustained, Mr. Baez.
Yes, sir. And in these text messages, you basically don't know what's real and what's not.
Yes, sir.
What happened and what didn't. What happened and what didn't.
Yes, I did not know anything that was going on.
And I guess the last question that I have for you is the very first page that you were shown, I guess that was the full sale receipt.
Correct.
That was from garbage, right? That was placed in the garbage?
Yes.
And I'm not sure if I had asked you this previously, but The dumpster at your apartment complex is located in the front exit, is it not?
Yes, sir.
And you live further back in the complex,
Yes, sir.
or lived.
Right.
And in order to take the trash, you would have to either walk from the front of your apartment all the way to the front exit, or of course, if you're driving, put it in your car.
Correct.
I have no further questions.
Redirect. May the witness stand down.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. State may call the next witness.
Cindy Anthony.